And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports, South Africa's final hopes in Europe. Rest with the Lions. Back the buggers. I back the buggers. No, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. It's all going to be good. So, we have just seen the Stormers going down very heavily against Exeter Chiefs. Before that, we did see the Sharks. You were going toe-to-toe with Toulouse for quite a while before it all kind of the wheels kind of came off, didn't it? And yes, then didn't go well at all. However, the Lions will be looking to do the unthinkable and get to a Challenge Cup semi-final in the inaugural campaign in the Challenge Cup. And let's see what we can do, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's a Lions side with nothing to lose, everything to gain. And sometimes you need those sort of situations. Sometimes you need that almost sort of underdog mentality. I think the Lions very much do thrive on that sort of underdog mentality. And they're very much underdogs today. They're playing against a very good Glasgow Warriors side. We're going to go to the side in just a few minutes. Kick off in about 6 minutes over in Scotland. And where am I at? It's a Lions side though that's been playing pretty good rugby, and they've sort of seemed to have turned a bit of a corner with regards to some of the off-field issues. And sometimes we've been talking about the fact that the South African teams have generally travelled very badly. The Lions have not travelled that badly this season. They've actually travelled pretty well. Beat Benton away recently, and they're a side that'll go in here thinking, you know what, if we can get some early momentum, there's no reason why we cannot go and shock this Glasgow Warriors side. And when I say this Glasgow Warriors side, this is how Glasgow will be lining up in a few minutes' time. In the front row, Jamie Batty, George Turner, Xander Ferguson, all Scotland capped. Scott Cummings, Richie Gay in the second row. Matt Ferguson, Rory Dart, Jack Dempsey. It's a very, very potent loose chair. But the Lions have also got a pretty good potent loose chair themselves. George Horn is in the number 9. Domingo Miotti in the number 10. Jamie Domi, Carl Steyn in the 2 wings. Carl Steyn captaining the side, South African born. Sterling Topilotto and Hugh Jones. The Hugh Pilotto Scotland combination is one of their big sort of danger areas, isn't it? Ollie Smith at full back. Off the bench, Johnny Matthews, former Lions prop, Nathan McBeth, Simon Bergen, JP Dupree, Lewis Bean, Tom Gordon, Eddie Price, and Tom Jordan going with a 6-2 split there. If you look at the Lions going with a 5-3 split, in the starting front row, JP Smith, PJ Buerta, Asanate, and Klaba Kanye. Willem Albert stakes to Ruben Skuman, Jaco Creel, Ruan Fenter, and Franco Horn. Ruan Fenter was tremendous last weekend against Racing. We'll need to put another big performance in against this Glasgow Warriors side. And then Ahmed, partner Gianni Lombard, Edo van der Merwe, Rabs Makwana, the 2 wings, Marius Lowe, Money Russ. They'll have their hands very full with the Hugh Pilotto combo, Q and Horn, who loves a good counter-attack and a very competent full-back. In the number 15, off the bench, Morne Brandon, Reinhard Reinsberger, who's sort of really found himself in this Lions 23 in the last few games. Ruan Andreas, South African capped player. Ruan Dalport, Travis Gordon, Morne Vandenberg, Reinhard Jonker, and Andries Kutsia. So a nice little combination with experience in the likes of Ruan Andrea, Andries Kutsia, with the impact players, sort of the youth of the likes of Reinsberger, Travis Gordon, Morne Vandenberg, for example. At the end of the day, I want to see a Lions team just have a go. Just have a go. You've got nothing to lose, as we keep saying. You've got nothing to lose, so why not just go out there and say, stuff it. We're gonna go. We're not gonna necessarily not even necessarily to play off rugby and take all the points on offer and stuff. Just go and have a genuine go. Go and throw caution to the wind. Back yourselves, back your brand of rugby, and see where that gets you. And if it doesn't get you very, very far, then fine. But let's not go down without a fight, shall we? Let's go out down fighting. Let's go and put a good show, and let's go and show people that we should not be written off as a union, and that we, in fact, can actually play this game pretty well at times. So that is the hope. That is the hope. Whether it'll come to fruition, I don't know. But at the end of the day, if you don't try, you never succeed. So let's see what we can do, shall we? Da-da-da-da-da. That's not working. Okay, man. If you got a poll running in the comments, please go and vote on it and let me know who you think's gonna win. I would really just like to see the Lions. Imagine the Lions in a Challenge Cup semi-final. Imagine. Let's get to the final. And I'll tell you what, if they can play like they did last weekend, I mean, to go, and yes, it wasn't the best wrestling side. Let's not make no mistake of it. But, to go down to 14 men against any team and to still get, and not even just get the result, to get a result like they did, where they hammered them, put 50 past wrestling with 14 men, is impressive. And Glasgow, however, are coming off a 73-33. So they won by 40 points last weekend. Lions winning by about 23. So, but two big, very impressive. And in theory, this should be a high-scoring game when you think that combined, these two teams scored 124 points last weekend. So it should be a high-scoring game. Today, we've seen Toulon beat Lyon, 48 points, 23. And last night, we saw a bit of a shock as Scarlets beat Clermont and Benetton beating Cardiff today. So, the nice thing is, as a Lions fan, I think we could beat Scarlets. We know we can beat the Benetton, and maybe we could beat the Toulon as well. So if we can get past Glasgow Warriors, I generally don't think it's that realistic to think that they can't go all the way. But today, they're going to have to bring out the perfect performance, aren't they? And the big thing is the pack's going to have to stand up nice and straight and really front up. And then we're going to need a bit of magic from your Sunday Humbers, from your Johnny Lombards needs to bring his kicking boots today as well. And Sunday Humber will kick off the tee. But from a tactical point of view, interesting to see what the condition will be as a 4G pitch. So it should be quite conducive to the running rugby that the Lions do like to play. And I hope they do try and stick with that And I think a couple of important players, your Snare and the Humbers, your Frankie Horns, those two players, probably the most important. Then your likes of a Ruan Fenter, for example, and this big ball carrying prowess that he has had in the last couple of weeks. Go to the comments. Lee Pedro says, come on, Lions. Hello, Scott. Hope you're well. Henkoff and Bake is still injured. He actually went under the knife a couple of weeks ago, had surgery. We're not quite sure what. Lions are very poor at giving us any sort of information on what's going on with injuries. So a bit frustrating from that point of view. And I think Manny Russ for me is a very sort of big question mark. Playing against Hugh Jones, I mean, huge loss for him. The Hugh Palotto combo is pretty prolific and has a good reputation for good reason. It's not just a little, oh, that sounds cool type of thing. They really do work very well together. But today we're going to see, what do you have to do with Lowe and Russ? It doesn't really lend itself to any, any sort of cool nicknames or anything like that. But Carl Stan, South African War, Carl Stan representing Scotland these days, the captain the side as well. Nathan Macbeth, a familiar face for Lions fans. Matthew Carley, the referee, in the middle today. And as I said, I just want to see the Lions throw caution to the wind, have a go, and see what can happen. Make a game interesting. Just make it interesting. Give me something to cheer about. Looks like a decent day over there in Scotland. We are playing left to right. Glasgow playing left to right, rather. And an early touch for Sinele Nahamba, who has been a bit of a magician of late for the Lions. Good touch for him as well. And need somebody to come in and scrum off. Judging by those legs, I would imagine that looks a little bit like Ruben Skuman. Pick up and go. I think that was it is Ruben Skuman. It's a bit scary when I start identifying Lions players based on the legs, isn't there? But anyway, Sinele Nahamba is back from the bottom of the ruck. And he is going to clear himself from the looks of it. And looking to find touch, and does find a very good touch finder. As I said, he's been in very good form. He is going to be paramount to this Lions effort today. If Sinele Nahamba has a good game, it'll go a long way towards the Lions having a good game. Not sure what the referee's saying here. I think it's a bit of off-the-ball stuff. But Yaka Creel into the side as well for the Lions. Did we go to the Lions side? I think we did, didn't we? We might have not, actually. We did go through it. Yaka Creel, Ruan Fenter, Franco Horn. Yeah. No, we did go through it. First line of the day here for Glasgow, as George Turner prepares to feed things in that black and red scrum cap. And the Lions do compete, but it's a good take. And they break off the back. And immediately, I think we're going to see Super lot. Oh, in fact, it's gone to nobody. They Russ McClane, but it's a really good pickup from Oliver Smith, who's spun in the tackle, being brought down by Manny Russ. Now Glasgow Warriors on the right-hand side. Big carry there coming from George Turner, but Marius Lowe trying to get that ball over, trying to get into the jackal position there. And the ball's gone straight through their hands once again. So it might be a bit slippery. Tupolotta now shifting towards the side. And is brought down just inside Lions territory. Does well to roll away. Does Manny Russ as well. He needs to have a big game today. Now Hugh Jones being brought down by Russ McClane. PJ Buerta Does turn it over as well. Good work there from PJ Boerter. Jaco Kriel now caught on the ball. So possession back with the men in white and red, but knocking it on in the process. So we will have our first scrum of the day. Interesting to see how these scrums do go. Nice early intervention there from PJ Boerter, who's not always been my favorite player. He has improved a lot this season, I will admit. But for me, just has far too many errors and far too many mistakes present in his game, unfortunately. I'm going to move to the stat screen. There we go. That's the one we want to be on. So with our tracker and everything like that. So that's what's going on. As I said, first scrum of the day. As Nate and Clavacania will look to anchor and give JP Smith the opportunity to really have a go at Xander Ferguson. He's an international quality prop. So very cool to be able to sort of really measure yourself against some of the best in the world. So Xander Ferguson up against JP Smith. Jamie Batty has to contend with the massive fridge of an Asanate and Clavacania. Big shot coming in there from the Lions. Big shot coming in there from the Lions. Penalty coming from the Lions. Come on! I said this is one of the pieces of the game for the Lions that is so important. Is they've got a good scrum. Asanate Clavacania, Mr. Cool, the ambulance as they call him. Look at him, just absolute unit of a man. That, my friends, is what 145 kgs of South African tight head looks like. That's peak athleticism right there. And he's been playing some brilliant rugby recently. And he wins the early scrum penalty. Love your work. Love your work, Asanate. Now we've got an early opportunity here. Let's see what the Lions can conjure up as they walk to the line out. First attacking line out of the game does go the way of the Lions. Nice big scrum. They're winning the penalty. PJ Boerter, not his best area is other lineouts. So important to win the first one. Just outside the 22. And it looks like Willem Alberts is wanting the ball. Does get it. Does go down to Jaco Kriel. Jaco Kriel bringing in Marius Lowe's going to run crash ball here. Good carry from him. Gets him into the 22. Quick ball near from Sananda Humber. Nice big carry there coming from Ruben Skuman. Nahamba now. JP Smith twisting. And it's actually been pickpocketed there from Jack Dempsey. Who the turnover ball. Really good rip there from Jack Dempsey. Now Xander Ferguson, the big tight head. And Horn kicks to the head. Looking to find touch. But he does find touch, and it's a very good touch finder, must be said. Kieran Horn happy not to take it quickly, so we'll set the line. Good defense there from Glasgow Warriors. Bit of a missed chance, I think, from the Lions, it must be said. All right, so PJ Boerter he did hit his man in the first liner, which is what we like to see. Now it looked a bit, a bit of a messy one, but it goes down to Sananda Humber. Lombard's going to fire a long pass out wide to Money Russ. Money Russ, it does catch it above his head and lose a bit of momentum, but working hard there is Money Russ. Ball available for Nahamba. He's going to go to Ruan Fenter. His first carry of the day. And I think that, I think Glasgow will have done their homework on Ruan Fenter after he did hammer a couple of the Racing players last week. And I think they'll be very wary of the threat he does pose. But good hands here from the Lions. Ball just bounces just towards Frankie Horn. Nice idea. The final pass not being good enough, really. But the Lions do still have possession. And Nahamba goes to Nasanate and Clavacania. Remember, the Lions went down to 14 men last week in the 16th minute and still managed to score 50 points. So, it took a lot of heart from them. And we're going to see the same amount of heart from today. So, then not too much on. So, he just wants to roll this back as he goes and preps for the box kick. Frankie Horn, Edel van der Merwe will chase here. It's not the best kick from the Humber. He knows, I think, as it came off his boot, scrambling a little bit. But Edel van der Merwe gets into a really good position and does take it. Edel van der Merwe takes into contact. Very, very good underrated player for me, Edel van der Merwe. JP Smith. There, I'd love to see it on the angle there. And then presenting it to Nahamba as well. Lombard going to PJ Boerter. Hit hard on the tackle is PJ Boerter. Lions still with possession. They're just inside Glasgow territory. And that's gone straight into Skuman's chest and off it. So it'll be a scrum. That's really poor. After a couple of good phases, looking good, looking a bit positive, and then bang, into the chest, out the chest. We had one job, that's to catch the ball. We didn't do it, not happy. Michael Gardner saying, come on, Glasgow. Not like to see Glasgow fans here. I mean, you're welcome here. You are welcome here. We're my Lions fans now. I need support here, people. Can't be outnumbered in my own stream by Glasgow fans. If I am, then we will just have to take on each other, eh? We'll put the boxing gloves on here. And I warn you, I'm deceptively fast for my size. So a break and play here before we have the scrum. And Ruben Schoolman, the man who's knocking it on there. Good to see him back. He's a very important player for Lions. I find him very underrated as well, to be fair. I think he works very hard. Discipline can sometimes be a bit of an issue. But we're definitely a better side when he plays. But that first scrum was a good one. As Ivan van Rooyen, Cash van Rooyen, his name is Cash, watches on. Under a bit of pressure. Some people say you could be out of a job. There was also rumors that he was being offered a pretty big contract. So I suppose you can choose what to believe and what not to believe. I personally have definitely seen growth in this Lions side. I think that this coaching staff are definitely taking steps forward. I just think they need more support from the union in terms of player recruitment, in terms of, just everything. I mean, guys were eating hot dogs on away games. You can't be eating hot dogs, chaps. I mean, we're high performance athletes. I mean, us in Club Kanye must have smacked about 10 of them. But so just need more support from the union, need more financial injections so the athletes can be in a better conducive space for high performance. And then we just need recruitment. We need better players, more players. Yeah. Anyway, scrum here. And last time was also for Glasgow. This is a much better scrum for Glasgow. They go down the right-hand side. Kick ahead, though. And it's well read by Kieran Horn. He's got a left boot, so right up against touchline. He'll hammer it to Glasgow. Comes inside. It's a nice kick from Kieran Horn. They go back inside here. As Smith moves it on to Tupolotto. Tupolotto. It's hit hard by Willem Albert. And Asenata and Klabakanya does complete the tackle. Now Horn going pretty flat. And loopy around. There's a bit of space over here. A bit of space. Somebody needs to make the tackle here. There's a lot of space. Morris Lowe. Chip and chase there. Edel van der Merwe's got a lot of work to do. Oh, it's going to fall to who? It's going to fall to somebody. Yeah, no! Forced to Jack Dempsey eventually. He throws a long pass out wide. But Raz Buklana needs to make a bit. Well, he makes a hit, but he doesn't make the tackle. In fact, he's got straight down. This doesn't look good for Raz Buklana. Scramble defense now needed for the Lions. And they've had to stop because, Raz Buklana, I think, is out cold here, by the way. And this is a horrible, horrible moment for Lions because Raz Buklana is not moving at all. This will definitely be a substitution. I'm just going to see it's going to have to come on here. Matthew Carley, very right to stop the game because, it's a very serious head injury. And as I said, Raz Buklana went up to try and make the early hit and went down like a sack of potatoes and hasn't moved. So that doesn't look good for him at all. I'm just going to see it will come on and the Lions are going to lose somebody very early here. Yeah, oxygen coming on as well. Yeah, he doesn't even move. Straight. It's his head's gone straight into the shoulder of Matt Ferguson. He's got a straight down. Oxygen on as well. He's out cold here. So we're going to have quite a long delay in play, I'd imagine. It doesn't look good for us, but fine. And I was really hoping he's going to get a bit of an extended run. He hasn't had much game time this season. Terrific finisher, one of the fastest players in the competition. Whether we're talking URC, all the challenge cover, he really is absolutely blitz. And yeah, he's going to leave it a stretcher here. I admire the tenacity, and I think he knew he had to make the big hit there, and he's just gotten it very wrong, and his head's just gone straight into the shoulder of Matt Ferguson. But let's look at this break. You have a huge opening here. And tell you what, it's almost a bit of a boss try when you think of how many players they had. Chip ahead there, Edel van der Merwe did really well just to move it. And then the ball that bounced the rugby ball, just doing absolutely everybody, eventually falling. And they had so much space out wide, they wanted to try and use it. And look, I think if Raz Buklana doesn't make that hit, they probably score. So it is probably a try-saving contribution from Raz. It will be the end of his game, though. So you do wonder the cost of that. But listen, wishing Raz Buklana all the best, and hopefully it's nothing too serious, and he'll be back soon for the end of the season. Because it'd be nice to get a couple more games from him. Although the Lions season could be up very quickly. I mean, I think 2 URC games left. So I mean, they've got a minimum of 2 remaining after this. So they were to win this game, there'll be another game. They would find themselves in the URC top 8, which is unlikely but not impossible. They're currently sitting in 11th place. Sharks sitting with 41 points. So they're 3 points behind that last A. But I'll tell you what, the Lions have got to play against Leinster and Zebra, and it's going to be very much a academy Leinster side. They're not going to send out any of their big names out down to South Africa, and then they're playing Zebra at home as well. So they can beat Leinster with a bonus point. Then they're taking on Zebra, who are the bottom of the log. If they can get 10 more points out of the last 2 games, well, who knows? Who knows? Maybe, dare to dream, they could sneak themselves into the top 8, in which case, first of all, they get a URC playoff. Second of all, they get into the Champions Cup, which would be very cool. So, yeah, I'd say it's a dream at the end of the day. It's all dreams, but you got to have dreams, don't you? Right, I'm just going to see it is onto the park, so he'll from the full back, and Kieran Horn will move to the wing, which is a bit frustrating because I really like Kieran Horn at full back. But yes, just all getting Rasmussen off the field. It looks like a pleasant evening actually over in Scotland. They are moving towards spring and into the summer. Not that I think Scotland really do summer. It's pretty cold there most year round, to be fair. But yeah, conditions look decent actually. Hopefully, it will allow for some running rugby because I think both of these teams do tend to play running rugby, so it could be very entertaining. Could very much be a game of who can outscore each other. Be very surprised if this was a low-scoring game. As we did mention, 124 points scored by both these teams. Combined last weekend. Also conceding plenty of points. The Lions team 28, Glasgow Warriors conceding 33. So close on 200 points across their respective matches. And yeah, just taking their time here with Rasmussen, which is good to see. Player welfare, obviously, at the moment, very at the forefront of the game. So taking all the time they need to make sure they can get him off the field safely and carefully, make sure his neck doesn't move, anything like that. If there is a neck injury, I think it looks like a pretty straightforward concussion. I think it's just head to shoulder, and it's just gone down. And Jacques Fourie on the park, barking some orders, running water tonight. Yeah, how cool is that to see Jacques Fourie as your coach here? And just please, there's no rumors that he's being offered head coaching positions. Please, can we just hold on to somebody like him? I mean, just it will be so Lions. We finally get a good couple of coaches in the likes of Ricardo Loubser, Jacques Fourie. Yeah, and that side does scare me. Watching Sione Tuipulotu chat to Hugh Jones, those two are making me a little bit panicky, I must admit. Right, so I think Rasmussen has been loaded onto the stretcher. No golf cart or anything like that. It does a manual one, so he'll be wheeled off. So still take a bit of time before we do get a restart going here. And this looks like basically a flipping tricked out wheelbarrow. I mean, really, guys, why not have a golf cart or something? And this is the most mental thing ever. It literally is a wheelbarrow. I mean, come on, chaps. So surely we can check out a golf cart or something. We'll just drive a car into it. Or bucky or something. Not a full stadium over there. Not a full house. But yeah, the main thing is just taking their time and making sure that he gets off safely. Right, so we do have playback here. And what have they got up to? Tupolotti inside ball. Huge Jones. Big tackle coming from Money Rust. You need to make that. The wraparound once again. Glasgow Warriors looking very, very good. Yeah, they're very close here. Pick up and go. Just short of the line here. Big defense needed here from the lines. Another pick up and go. Glasgow Warriors on the brink here. On the doorstep. Just once again short. Short again. Good defense here from the Lions. Keeping in the forwards here are Glasgow. They have made a call though. And not too much on there. Oh, just short. Penalty advantage though. I think for offside. Ball's gone forward. We'll go back for the penalty. Which I suppose we'll take, I suppose. But jeepers, that looked very... And when you start seeing Tupoloto and stuff like that, running with that sort of intent off the back of a scrum, it's quite a scary sight. So offside is the call. Decent defense there from the Lions. Eventually the turn could come in, but now they're going to go for the line here. Are Glasgow. Right, so now big defense needed here. And you can just see, just bang, inside ball. It's a great tackle for Money Russ. We did talk about the fact he's going to have to put in a big defensive performance today. And so far he's made 2 very important tackles. And then, yeah, there's being ripped in the tackle there. I think it was Banahamba who ripped it there. So they are still on the 5-meter line here. Our Glasgow Warriors. George Turner will feed this line out. Interesting to see if the Lions choose to compete. Doesn't look like they're setting up to compete. So I think they're looking at more sort of trying to nullify the rolling more. They don't compete. They look to try and shift them all the contact. Then that's stupid. There's so much happening here. Oh, it's a great try. It's such a good try. It's such a good set piece. Goodness me. I mean, there were about 4 or 5 different variations there. How have they done that? How have they done that? That is Franco Smith, by the way. That is the type of coach he is. Jack Dempsey, by the way, is the man who eventually finished it. But I mean, they went up. They popped the ball down as if they were setting up an additional more. They then popped it up to Hall on the angle of Tupoloto, who, as he's going down, pops it up to Jack Dempsey. And Johnny Lombard's surprise and just bemused expression kind of explains it all. That was so clinical and so well done. And the Lions didn't know what was plotting there. And the kick is good as well. So 7-0. Yeah, listen, I'm not surprised. At the end of the day, we knew we were going to concede points. The question is, can we stay with them? Can we score as many points? I think this could be a game of who can score more points than the other, as opposed to who's going to score points. I mean, look, this is so just bang inside. Johnny Lombard gets it wrong, and yeah, see, Johnny Lombard's going to try and make this inside tackle on Tupoloto. As soon as I think it's Marius Lowe steps inside to make the tackle, that's where the gap is there for Jack Dempsey, and he goes straight through. He's not even touched as he goes through. I think that's Kieran Horn actually taking the kickoff there, going left there. Edwin van der Merwe is chasing hard on Tupoloto. Go inside, Joe Glasgow, trying to open up a better angle through Gray. And now Horn will look to find touch. Not his best touch finder, but so the Lions will have a line just outside the 22. But yeah, it's difficult to be angry at a move like that when it's just executed to perfection. Goodness me. Right, PJ Buerta, how can the Lions respond? As I said, the main thing is to stay with them for as long as possible. And it goes over the top. And this is why I don't rate PJ Buerta, because he cannot throw a ball into a sodding lineout. Now, Marius Lowe is trying to catch Tupoloto after the ball bounced there. But then that's a lost lineout there from the Lions. And this is the problem. I really don't back PJ Buerta's lineout skills. I said earlier, he's improved a lot this season, but he still has lots of question marks over his lineout work. There we go. They're the questions about his line work. Anyway, deep kicking coming from Glasgow. Andrews Conceal has his first touch of the game. He's got Johnny Lombard to his left. Decides to kick. Looking for that left hand side there. Straight down the throat. And he goes back inside towards Oliver Smith. He's going himself. Brought down by Andrews Conceal. Runs to JP Smith as well. Now Miotti going to the left to Tupoloto. Going to his captain, Carl Steyn. He's fallen right in front of Maurice Lowe. He was a bit slow to react there. Big rush defense there. JB Smith making a good hit. So good defense so far from the Lions. Now that ball just being tossed, tripped over the top. Carl Steyn, however, getting across, making the challenge. Senenda Humber trying to get over there. That's pretty poor from the Lions. Didn't really compete for that kick at all. Carl Steyn had a free go at it. And now they're looking to shift it towards the right. The Lions defense needs to shift here. And I'm just going to see it's been burnt on the left-hand side there. This is not looking particularly good. Ball bounced in. Who's it going to bounce to? It's bounced to Smith. Smith is just short. The ball's been ripped. And we're going to go back for what now? Knock on? Or what's happening here, chaps? I mean, that's far too easy. Carl Steyn cannot have a free go at that. He cannot go up and just pluck it up the sky like that. Not sure what we're coming back for here. The chip over the top. I think, yeah, forward there for the Glasgow Warriors player. So it should be a line scrum. Yeah, so it'll be a line scrum here. And ominous signs, I must admit, for how good the counter-attack has been here for Glasgow Warriors in the early stages. They look really, really good with ball in hand. The good news for the Lions from a scrum perspective is that they did win a penalty when it was the Glasgow Warriors scrum, so this will be an opportunity to put the ball underneath the feet of PJ Boert and then let Asnat and Klabakanya and JB Smith really have a go at the two Glasgow props, see if they can win themselves another penalty and give themselves a bit of a freebie, move out of their own half. Carl Steyn, what a season he's having, just really coming of age. Captaining the side tonight. Starting to become a bit of a regular in the Scottish shirt. Darcy Graham he's competing with, so it's not easy to compete with Darcy Graham and Julian van der Merwe. Free kick they're coming from the Lions, for the Lions rather. And again, scrumming issues here for Glasgow Warriors. And Senena Humber's going to kick towards touch. Does fine touch. It will be a Glasgow Warriors fee because it was a free kick, not a penalty. Uncontested line up there. Pretty flat towards Tupolotto. He steps on the inside. Runs to a couple of forwards. Trying to hold him up, and they do drive him back. Good little step inside there from Rory Dodge, but well read from Klabakanya, who does complete the tackle. Now Jack Dempsey, try scorer. Presents to Horn. Miotti goes flat to Gray. Now Batty going to Tupolotto. Tupolotto to Hugh Jones. Maurice Lowe coming up, but Manny Russ getting there to complete the tackle. Sorry, it's actually Oliver Smith who's joined the line there. Big counter coming in from the Lions. And Jack Creel then diving on the ball. Is available for the Glasgow Warriors. They're trying to go down the short side. Big tackle coming on the Horn from Asanata and Klabakanya. Carl Steyn, the captain, going to Xander Ferguson, British and Irish Lions. Tour a couple of years ago to South Africa. And he's lost the ball forward. Oh, he's bought that penalty. Big tackle. He steps on the inside and he runs in. He goes and meets the ambulance as Asanata and Klabakanya hammers him to the ground. Trying to work out what this penalty's for. Yes, he steps inside and then goes, oh, Schweppes, that's a pretty big tight head. Not too happy to be running into that. They don't show the replay of the penalty, so we actually can't really see what it was for. I think it could have been offside. Oh, Schweppes. Now Ruben Fenton's left the field. Okay, well, there goes our game. There goes our game. This is fantastic. This is exactly what we want to see. You know, we're 60 minutes in. We're 7-0 down. We've just lost Ras McClane, and now Ruben Fenton's going off. He's been one of our best forwards the entire season. So we're in trouble now, people. We're in big trouble here. It's an HIA, so he could still come back, hopefully. There's Ruben Fenton. But so Travis Gordon is on. Captain the Currie Cup a couple of weeks ago. Talented player. Big, pretty big, and a penalty advantage, by the way, for at the more here for Glasgow Warriors. So they can use it. Once with the core there, Tupolotto going to Hugh Jones. Big overlap here inside, and Manny Rush does complete the tackle on Smith, who we're seeing joining the back line that outstanding channel quite a lot. Still penalty advantage here for Glasgow. So Lions under the cosh here. Ball over the tops, and then the Humber's having to come across there. Jack Dempsey goes inside. Runs to his opposite number, Frankie Horn. Cummings there, good offload from him. Oh shit, that's so good. And where's the defense? There's just no defense, and they've run in another one. That's not good enough. That is not good enough. That's so easy. You cannot just be running the hands and finding that much space out wide. Jamie Dobie is over. That's so slack. And, you know, you just haven't really pushed up so far, have we? The back the line out. And then they're just running the hands here. They're just running the hands. And it's such a big overlap. Where's the call here? Where's the call? And the rush defense comes in. I mean, where's Anton Merva? He's nowhere there. He's gone on a whole different mission there. I was going completely wrong. And there's so much space. And Jamie Dobie is just running around. And he'll have an opportunity to go underneath the poles. 12 points to 0. Ominous signs once again. Not happy. Not happy. We'd like to see us actually start playing with a bit of rugby, with a bit of ball in hand. And the kick is good. So 14 points to 0. And the Lions haven't had any possession inside Glasgow Warriors half. And when they did, we lost the ball. We've lost Ruan Fenter, we've lost Rasmus McClane, so that's 2 early injuries. Ruan Fenter is an HIA, so he might be able to come back. But yeah, we just get this completely wrong there. The restart going pretty deep once again. Tupolotto runs into Edward van der Merwe and is assisted by Travis Gordon. George Turner now runs to JP Smith, creating that angle for Horn. Doesn't find touch though, so Andrews Kutsia is looking to counter. He'll go himself as Andrews Kutsia. Gets a bit of support from his forwards. So Lions with a bit of possession inside Glasgow territory. Asinate Ntlabakanye. He's tackled well. Slow ball this from the Humber. And he goes to Ruben Skuman. Bit of a show and go from him. Now the Humber. Pretty poor pass to, I think it's Kieran Horn actually. Not sure what he's doing there. Nothing to Marius Lowe actually. No, it's not. I think it is Kieran Horn. Now Johnny Lombard. On the angle there was Asinate Ntlabakanye. Now Humber now to Marius Lowe. Marius Lowe popping up to Johnny Lombard. Almost up to the 22. Stepping his way around a couple of players then. Now Humber now going to Ruben Skuman. So it's actually JP Smith who's taking the more direct route. There we go. I don't know if it's a knock-on advantage there, but it's a bit confused how it's a knock-on advantage when we didn't have the ball. And we'll go back for the advantage. I think it was a penalty advantage. No, knock-on advantage. Very confused. Must have been knock-on at the breakdown. So we'll go back for a scrum. It's not the worst result for the Lions on the 22. Try and go for the penalty here. Kick it to the corner and try and get a try back here. Alternatively, maybe we've got a wild set-piece move off the back of the scrum where we're just going to, see, Johnny Lombard just putting Edel van der Merwe in a gap and just bang. But a slow start here from the Lions. Haven't had much possession. Need to get their hands on the ball. And then, yeah, we just need to calm down a bit. Calm down a bit. Let us just grow into the game. Build an innings. Stay with the Glasgow Warriors. That's what I keep saying. I keep repeating the fact. Let's stay with them. They are going to score tries. I think we know we're going to score tries. And this is a bit of a different sort of. The Stormers, for example, I mean, they got blown away. But they've got a defense where they might just not score tries. The Lions don't have that defense. So they need to almost accept, I suppose, to a certain degree. I don't know how you accept that you're going to concede tries, but need to be aware that you will concede tries because it's kind of how you play. Your defensive system is not good enough right now not to be seeing tries. But the biggest thing about the Lions is that they can score tries. So stay with them. Stay with them. Don't let them get too far ahead. Take it as long as possible. In theory, we should be the fitter team. And give it a go in the last 20 minutes. We don't have the high fall or anything like that to work with. Ball is available there for Snena Hamber. He wants to go down the right-hand side. And it's Andries Kutsia. It's still Andries Kutsia. I think it is. Not like Kuhn Horn once again. He's pretty. I'll tell you what. For somebody of his side, Kuhn Horn, he gets around the. He gets over the advantage line quite often. That's Nathan Klavikanya. Good take from him. Wasn't the best pass from Snena Hamber. Now going to Marius Lowe. He loves a good crash ball run. A bit better from the Lions. A couple of players running on the shoulders of Nahamba. Now Yaka Creel this time. Going into their 6th phase here are the Lions. Slow ball to Klabatanya once again. Rush defense from Glasgow Warriors. And a big counter rack coming in here. Ball is eventually available. Go to PJ Buerta. PJ Buerta goes to JP Smith. JP Smith has lost the ball again. Can you protect the ball, please, JP? It's the 2nd time he's had the ball ripped from him. George Turner now. Got to protect the ball. I think I've actually identified that about it. He carries it always in one hand. Not too many options. So the kick goes to the top. I think it could be in touch, and it isn't touch. It's a dreadful kick. So that's a bit of a lifeline for the Lions, as they'll have a line out inside the 22. Dan McLean saying, at least we do have a better chance of being Leinster. I said Basson saying, still have the second half. We can still do it. Definitely have a chance by the looks of it. Yeah, as I said, I think the big thing is just to stay in touch. Stay with them throughout the game. Make sure they don't get too far ahead. And yeah, if you're within a try in the last 20 minutes, then anything can happen. But you got to be within a try. You got to stay with them throughout the game. You can't let them get away from you. PJ Buerta goes to Willem Alberts. And then going to Johnny Lombard. Manny Russ getting away from a couple, drifting a lot, very side, very lateral. That needs to straighten, does eventually straighten. Not the worst carry from Manny Russ. It also needs to release, though, referee. There's no release. Where was their release from Rory Darge there? Also, show the replay, because every single time we've had a penalty, we're not seeing the replay there. No, I'm not so sure about the release there. Yeah, I'm not convinced there was much of a release there. And it looks like another set piece to move there. Tupolotto being caught on the ball. It's a good line being run. It's a very, very good steal though from Travis. Oh, what? Hands beyond the ball, apparently. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is the 3 points taken, yeah. Yeah, hands on the ground before, and then he takes it. I mean, just see those small sort of percentage here. They're going for the corner here, by the way. Look, guys, looking trying to be ruthless. Don't just try to make them pay for it. But just not at the races at the moment. 4 penalties conceded to Glasgow's 1. Well, Lions do contest, and I think the stack is good. Oh, wasn't it? No, still. You're about to say it was a sack. Yeah, so yeah, turnover ball. Good work there, lads. Good work. Good sack. Good stuff. Now, chaps. Now, hopefully a penalty at the scrum. Alright, so scrum for the Lions, 14 points to 0 at the moment. So they're still within touching distance. 26 minutes on the clock so far. Haven't really looked like scoring though, must admit. That's probably the little bit of a worrying thing at the moment, is that just... I haven't really looked in it so far. I haven't seen too much... that's a big scrum though. Big scrum though. Penalty advantage. Marius Lowe looking around 22. He's still going as Marius Lowe. Still going as Marius Lowe. Now a quick ball to Johnny Lombard. Chip over the top. And we'll go back for the penalty. Thank you very much. Yeah, good scrum. As I said, that's the only thing that seems to be working so far. The front row is doing God's work at scrum time, and hopefully that'll continue. But it's a good run this from Marius Lowe. I mean, he makes a lot of meters. He'll chip over the top from Johnny Lombard. Why not? You got penalty advantage. If that falls to the right person, then anything can happen, really. But it's good covering there from Smith. And we'll go back for the penalty and get ourselves further at the park, shall we? Good work, lads. Good work. Yeah, I think a little bit of Glasgow arrogance there. I think player of rugby there, 14 points to 0. You got a kickable penalty. Very surprised I didn't take the 3 points. 17 nils, a whole different, 17 0, 20 0. You can start building innings here. You've got your 2 early tries. So yeah, strange decision for me. Probably the wrong decision, I think, in the end. Whether they'll live to regret it, we don't know. And they've lost the line out. PJ Buerta. Oh, he's running back though. Go PJ! Inside ball to Yeko Creel. Well, that's almost worked out quite well, actually. So then the hammer goes to Asanate and Klabakanye. Nice carry from him up towards the 22. Now the hammer wants to go short side. Goes to Ruben Skuman. Number out, Johnny Lombard, not the best passer, and Johnny Lombard just stepping around, running back towards a couple of his forwards, losing the ball in contact. That's the 3rd solid time it's happened. And the ball's just going to bounce out. They're all the way back in our own half. We've got to look after the ball. We cannot possibly win this game if we do not look after the ball. It's the 3rd time we've gone into contact and the ball's popped out or been ripped or something. We're living with scraps here. Not very well either. Guess what? Guess what? We lost another starting lineup. This is pathetic, actually. How is it? Just take him off. You cannot have a hooker who can't win a line. That's 3 lineouts he's lost. Just by the way, 3 lineouts. Not going to advantage, thankfully. Kieran Horn, who's one of the few players who looks to have actually pitched up today. It's 3 lineouts lost, though. Not too much. And Johnny Lombard, well, he hammers us into a Glasgow player, so it's turnover ball. Meanwhile, there's another Lions player injured. I mean, very few things, more things could go wrong at this rate. Between losing lineouts, when you try and kick it, we're kicking it into people. We've already had 2 injuries and somebody else was down for a while. I'm not sure who it was. Could be Marius Lowe. Doesn't seem to be walking around as easily as everybody else. Anyway, Glasgow Warriors in the attack here. We'll have a fumble there. Not too much on. A little chip over the top. It will fall to Edel van der Merwe. He's lost that many Russ. He's been held up. That's so easy to hold him up. He's too small for this level, and this is the problem. In fact, it's actually been ripped. Because we can't hold on to the ball either. And then thankfully ripped and knocked on. Although Asanate and Klabakanye was over there and was going to try and was hoping going to win a penalty there. This is poor though. Poor. As Marcella says, like I said, the small mistakes cost you the game. It's amateur mistakes. This is the lines I hate watching. I hate watching. Because why can we be a side that can put 52 on wrestling last week and then make such silly mistakes this week? I don't mind losing to better sides. I've always said that. If I lose to a better team, fair. They outplay us, fine. But you've got to control the controllables. 3 lineouts lost is unacceptable at this level. Not protecting the ball in contact 4 times is unacceptable at this level. In the first half here, which is half an hour in, it's nonsense. And this is the problem with the Lions. They are that inconsistent. They can go from being the side that can put on 50 points on lots of different teams, and then go and make these kind of small mistakes. And we need to score some points here before half time. So trying to go with the big scrum once again. Call is to use it. We're going to have another reset. Now trying to win the penalty here. And Matthew Carly did say use it, and we're gonna have a reset. But tell you what, I think they're just gonna keep scrumming here and have a go. As I said, it's about the only sort of avenue the Lions can really sort of target. It's the only one they're getting a lot of purchase out of. Right, 8 minutes left in the first half. A try about 4 half time would be very nice. It's not been a particularly good half, but if we can get into it and still be within sort of 7-9 points, I'll be quite happy. Now the reset here. Scrums being one of the few things going well for us, but about saving grace here at the moment. Another good scrum though. Ball available from the Humber. Lombard goes to Marius Lowe. Marius Lowe, long pass, good pass out to Kewan Horn. Kewan Horn past the halfway line. He's carrying the ball well so far. Nahumba now going to... That's just good steer actually in the end. The money rush. Asnat and Clavicania popping up to Johnny Lombard. Wrap around. Long pass out to Kutsia. Kutsia goes to Frankie Horn. He finds a bit of space down the wing. Cuts inside as Frankie Horn. Does that very well. Very much in the mold of Warren Whitey. Scrum cap and all. Scored a brilliant try last week. We saw end-to-end stuff there from the Lions a couple of weeks ago, actually, I think it was. Yeah, I was over in Benetton. Nahumba to Lombard. To Willem Alberts. The Bone Crusher. Bone Collector. Ruben Skuman is lock partner. It's a nice little... And it'll pop it to BJ Butt as well. Pops to Asnat and Klaver Kanye. Gotta love a tight running a supporting line, eh? Good, much better. Then Johnny Lombard sees a bit of space. Puts it to the boot. Marius Lowe is... going to, or Carl Stan's done very well there. Has he? No, he's not. He stepped out. He has stepped out. So it'll be a 5-meter line out. Brilliant little kicking behind Johnny Lombard. Much better. Much better. A couple of offloads, a couple of supporting lines. What do you like to see? Yeah, and that's what Lombard can do. It's a perfectly weighted kick. It's not going to run out there and does just step on the line. A good call from the line. So it will be a 5-meter line. A big opportunity. There's 5 minutes to go for the Lions. The problem is that PJ Bull is probably going to lose the line out, because that's how it's been going so far. But if you can win the line out, score a try, convert it. As I said, just to stay in the game. Just stay in the game. And they go to Frankie Horn. Good line out this time. Looking to set the running more. Looks very... not quite sure where this ball is. Seems to have gone down. It's available though for Snare and Nahumba. Or is it? Are they going to pick up and go? They are going to pick up and go. Nahumba wasn't, I think, happy with the quality of the ball. Asnat and Klabe. Klabe Kanye now pick up. Oh, penalty for what now, man? For what? For sealing off. I mean, for God's sake, man. Really? I mean, how many penalties are conceded, chaps? I'm confused with what the penalties for here. Well, this time Glasgow Warriors have lost the ball. Jaco Kriel's going marauding. This is what Jaco Kriel does best. Living off the scraps here. Maurice Lowe now almost through a half gap. Good work there for Maurice Lowe. Lions back into the 22. Asnat and Klabakanya once again. I mean, he's absolutely everywhere, isn't he? Not rolling, ref. Now Lombard inside ball to Kieran Horn. Standing start. JB Smith now. Penalty advantage as well. Money Rush decides to go himself. Number going to Franco Horn. I'm going to go back for the penalty. Right, to the corner, chaps. To the corner we go. Offside is the call. It's right in front of the poles. I think somebody's coming out with water. I wouldn't be surprised. I wonder if he's coming out with a kicking tee. Surely we have to go for the line here. We're 14 points. Yeah, as Sending Humber saying we're going to the corner here. That's a good kick from the Humber. So come on, chaps. Come on, chaps. This is a great run from Jaco Kriel. And I tell you, there's fewer better sights than seeing Jaco Kriel with open space just running. He's just got that marauding, and he's got that leg drive as well. Richard Churi saying on the 15th of April, the Bulls versus Edinburgh game is free on TG4. Leicester versus Lions, Munster Storm both on RTE2. Yeah, so we'll have some videos on how to do that. What's going on here? Carly, what's plotting here? Oh, we've got an injury here. Oh, great. So Travis Gordon, who's come on for Ruan Fenter, is now down injured. He's getting strapped in, so it looks like it will continue. But I mean, this sort of sums up how things are going for us at the moment, isn't it? Our player who replaced our injured player is injured. Dear. Oh, dear. 5 visits to the opponent, 0 points. Glasgow Warriors, 14 points from their 5 visits to the opponents, 2.8 points per visit. Lions, that's many points per visit. Jacques, tell them what's going on. Now, Travis Gordon is okay to continue. Sporting a dirty mo. I really hope we do see Ruan Fenter come back on the park in the second half. Such an important player to the Lions. PJ Boerter, clean line out. That's the main thing. Willem Albert's back inside to JP Smith. 2 meters out. Ball is available. Pick up and go. And penalty advantage for offside. So free roll the dice here. Let's see what the backline can do. Let's see what they can cook. Edel van der Merwe shifting across. Nahamba going wants to see himself. And runs into Maurice Lowe. Almost would have gotten over there. Maurice Lowe running the dummy line, running into the defender. We'll go back for the penalty. That's the second penalty though. So we'll try again. I'll tell you what, I'll be tempted for a scrum here, people. You've had the measure of them at the scrum. I'm Maurice Lowe. I'm asking my props. Listen, do you guys... Has he had a card or is it an injury? I think it's an injury, yeah, for Glasgow Warriors. I'll tell you, I think they're looking at the scrum here. Or they're going to take a tap and go here. Yeah, I'm going to take a tap and go. Why not take the scrum? It's a big counter coming from... I mean, how only the Lions could do that. Only the Lions could tap and go and Glasgow Warriors counteract the first ruck and win it back. That is pathetic. Honestly pathetic. That is the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen. How has that even happened? I'll just do it again and actually see exactly how it happened. We just haven't seen any replays, Joe. It's just me. We're just not seeing any replays. And we lost another line out because PJ Buerta is the worst line operator in the world. And he's missed the tackle for good measure. Go back for the knock-on advantage. I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, that must be 5 lineouts lost. This half alone. If I see him walk out for the second half. Alright, so it's a line scrum. Big counter shot coming there from Glasgow. So Senna Hammer does use it. Goes to Marius Lowe. Marius Lowe. Last opportunity, yeah, this for the Lions. Willem Alberts. Strong carry from him. The ball retention has been very poor from the Lions so far. Lots of counteracts, lots of turnovers, lots of rips and tackles, lots of knock-ons. So just retention here, chaps. And patience. I think it's Travis Gordon now. No, not Travis Gordon getting involved. Willem Alberts once again. Bit of a fumble. And I think Money Rush doing very well to take it on the second. And a penalty just for a change. What's this now for? I can't be holding on. The guy wasn't even on his feet. That'll be the end of the first half. I'm sure they'll just... No, I think they're genuinely kicking it out. They're having a go here, Glasgow Warriors. Wouldn't it be funny if we could just turn this over and go run in the try of our own? Another set move here. Turner going to... And forced to Jones. The wrap around here. Oh, my living. Runny Russ as well. He's forced the knock on, thankfully, but he was run over. Anyway, people, that is the end of the penalty, actually. So not the end of the first half. It's going to be one of the longest first halves I've seen in a long time. I mean, it kicked off almost an hour ago, eh? It's taking us 56 minutes to play this half. Largely due to the injury to Rasmus Kleiner, and hopefully he is all right. But a penalty now for the Lions. We're given a last late opportunity in the half to try and find some points. And we've got to find some points somewhere. I don't know how. Because we're going to go for the lineouts. But PJ Buerta has lost. As I said, I wanted to check. I think it's 4 lineouts so far. I want to be factually correct when I critique people. Penalty 3. I'm pretty sure it's more than that. 57% is about right, though. Yeah, it's ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. I'd love to go and find out his blooming season stats. Oh, another messy one. Another messy one. I mean, see, that counts the line at 1, which it shouldn't. Right. Pretty far back here. Just outside the 22. Nice big carry there from Ruben Skuman, though. Travis Gordon this time. It's a nice run from him. But now Marius Lowe spotting a bit of space down the side. Wants to go himself as Marius Lowe. Big marauding run from the inside center. Ruben Skuman. Frankie Horn now. Being dragged to the tackle by Marius Lowe. Slowly but surely, as we go into our 7th phase, we are making a bit of progress. Inside ball there from Lombard. That's very weird. Almost a stop. Marius Lowe now going to it. JP Smith. They're still going over the lines. Almost up. Almost 5 meters up. Getting a few meters here. Asnat and Klabakanye. I'm making a bit of progress here. No, you can't play that. Thank you very much. Penalty advantage. And you can't play him as well. Chaps, take a scrum. I know it's very audacious. You know, maybe it's not what you guys think we should, but I'm telling you right now, we should be taking a scrum. We have scrummed. It's the only thing we've been good at. We cannot go for the line out here. Thank you. They have called for the scrum. I mean, we've lost 4 lineouts. We tried tap and go, and they've counteracted. The first ruck, but I add. The first one. Not the second one, the first one. The one where you're like, okay, cool. These guys are going to tap. He's going to go into contact. You guys are going to secure the ball. No. We lost that one. So eventually we're going to go to the only thing that we're good at the moment, and that is scrumming. And I want to see a big scrum. I want to see Asnat and Klabakanya walking us over that line. Penalty try into half-time with a bit of momentum. Bring on one fair to the second half. Then we run over a couple of Scots, and then we move. Know what I'm saying? That's what I want to see. I'm not saying it's going to happen. That's what I want to see. I mean, we are literally an hour since the kickoff. Eh? That's mental. So 3 first half stats, by the way. Everyone fair to us, Bakani off the Lions and Miyati off for the Glasgow Warriors. Tom Jordan and the number 23 jersey on this place. 6-2 split could come back to bite Glasgow Warriors, so they don't be careful. Right, pretty steady so far. Needs to use it now, does Nahamba. Right, Wakami Kuka. We always see him in the space himself, does Nahamba. And he's just short. He does place. Is it awarded? They want to check it. They want to check if it's double movement. I think he's allowed to place, and I think that's his placement. A bit of space did open up for him. I think on-field decision try. Steps inside, sees the space, goes bang, comes down. So he's going. Bit of a high tackle there. I hope they picked that up. Well, nothing else. I'd like to see a penalty for the high tackle. I think it's probably a double move, but I want to see this high. I want to see that high tackle. So it should be a penalty at the very least here. Penalty though. Penalty. Where's the penalty though? The tackler tapers around his neck. Yeah, penalty. What? That's the first infringement. Am I the only one that saw it? That the tackle attempt is around the neck. He slips off it, and then he goes for double movement. The first infringement is a penalty against him. Give up. See you guys after halftime. And the big question is, can the Lions mount a 14-point comeback and get themselves into a Challenge Cup semi-final? And a frustrating first half, must admit, very frustrating. Because I think the Lions had an opportunity to score, probably should have scored. I think a couple of decisions going against them have influenced the game. I was very frustrated just before half time. I thought that Sanena Humber was definitely a high tackle before his double movement, which is fine. I'm happy to chalk off the try and say double movement, but if there's a high tackle in the process, then that should have been a penalty. And, if the Lions get that penalty, score a try, it could be walking out just 7 points behind instead of 14 points behind. So frustrating. Interesting to see if Travis Gordon's come out or whether Ruan Fenter has passed the HRA. I don't see a white scrum cap, so I think that he will remain off from the looks of it. The ball's allowed to bounce there. But yeah, it's not been ideal for the Lions. They lost 2 early players in Ruan Fenter and Rasmus Klein, 2 very important players as well. And it's going to be a long half ahead. However, for Glasgow Warriors, they also lost Domingo Miotti, far half, and they've gone with a 6-2 split. So, yeah, it could also backfire a little bit on them. I just could see her carrying that into contact as the second half gets underway here. And Sanena Humber under pressure at the breakdown. Lions in possession just inside Glasgow Warriors half. They've got to score first at the end of the day. If it's a very nice carrier there from JP Smith. Yeah, if the Lions are going to try and win this game, they've got to score first here. Try and get some points on the board. Start putting Glasgow, under a bit of pressure here. But haven't really looked like scoring, though, it must be said. That's a pretty poor pass from Sanena Humber. PJ Buerta just popping into JP Smith, who did have a very nice carry earlier, but just doesn't seem to be much plan, really, of attack here from the Lions. Johnny Lombard there, bringing in Money Russ. Money Russ has just set somebody down. You don't see that too often. Good to see, though. And this is a bit better. JP Smith now. And he frees his hands up for Kuhn Horn. Kuhn Horn just short of the 22. Much better from the Lions here. Nahamba, pretty big pass out wide to PJ Buerta. So going through the phases here, the Lions not really finding too much penetration. So I feel like Edel van der Merwe popping up to Marius Lowe. Marius Lowe's going to go himself. And again, not making too many meters. Good defense so far, yeah, from Glasgow. Willem Alberts puts his head down. Now he wants to go the short side to Kutsia. Kutsia to Edel van der Merwe. Edel van der Merwe finding a bit of space. Just shy of the 22. And another Lions player down. As I said, this is weird. It's not looking good. And Humber picking up and going, sniping. Marius Lowe showing go. And you could see a places there for Johnny Lombard. Johnny Lombard going to Willem Alberts. Willem Alberts spinning on the tackle. Then taking the hit and getting inside the 22. PJ Buerta. But again, just looks a little bit sort of uninspired. They don't look like there's much of a plan of attack here. It's kind of just going through the phases here. Now Money Russ. Always very busy with his footwork. Pick up and go though for Money Russ. It's very intelligent from him. And I suppose somebody of his size, you've got to try and bring a little bit more to the play. Now, Johnny Lombard, a couple of bit of space out wide here for the Lions. Marius Lowe opting to hold on. No running away there from the Glasgow. PJ Buerta, ball was available there. PJ Buerta now, pick up and go. Ruan Skuma now, pick up and go. A little bit isolated. A couple of players do come and join him now. His knees on the ground. They do have to release. Penalty, thank you. Playing the ball on the ground. Decision time here, because again, the Lions lost 4 lineouts in the first half. So, let's pick up and go, and he scored it. Oh, Sanena Humber, well, there we go. That's what he can do. You always got to watch out for him. And literally, as I'm busy there deciding what we're going to do, he's decided to tap and go, and he scored. He's got that in his locker. He's got that in his locker. The Sanena Humber. He loves a good snipe. He loves a good quick tap, and he's done it, and he's been punished. I mean, he's punished the Bulls recently. And almost got through in the first half, but his try was talked off for double movement. But this time his try will stand. He will wait for the T to convert it. And that's the perfect start from the Lions. Come on! It's good. It's a good try, actually. I mean, he still had so much work to do. Steps outside, rise the tackle, and gets his arm out there to place it before Xander Ferguson get across there. Perfect start. And he does convert it. Well, there we go. Game on, as they say. Game on. I want to see if the Lions player was down is going to continue. Yeah, half tackle coming there from Matt Ferguson, but just so quick as in the Humber. Inside, outside, over he goes. Bit of magic, bit of individual magic there from the scrum half. And I think, again, this is still a Lions player, I think, that's receiving treatment. So the Lions suffering with a bit of injuries. It's Money Russ, actually. It wasn't the player who was down earlier. He's got a bit of taper on his arm. Yeah, I think he should be right to continue, Money Russ. He's not a bad player, but he's so small, I think, is his biggest problem, is that there's just... Yeah, doesn't really have the physicality to really compete. Deep restart coming there from Glasgow. Straight down the throat of and Nahamba's got plenty of time to find his clearance, which won't find touch. Bit of a mistake, that. So, there's a couple of options there. And he runs into Frankie Horn. He's not going to let him go. And a very good penalty on the ground from Jaco Kriel. There we go, lads. A little bit of just hard work and a bit of graft there. A bit of spark there. Good tackle made for Frankie Horn. He's determined not to let Smith go. And then Jaco Kriel gets himself into a good position. Wins the penalty. And a bit of a momentum shift in the early stages here in the second half. A nice start here. So he tried running away from Frankie Horn. He says no. Eventually does get him down to ground. Jaco Kriel's over there very, very quickly. Gets his hands on the ball. Wins the penalty. Now the Lions will be able to kick into Warriors territory. No, they won't, because Nahamba's not found friggin' touch. You can't afford to do that, guys. We cannot afford to do that. Now Tupolotto seeing a bit of space out wide. He's drifting around. Morris low. Well, it's not unconventional, but he makes the tackle. Very frustrating, as the Lions should have had just get it out. At the end of the day, it doesn't have to be that far. Just get it out. It's such a stupid mistake to make. We saw the Stormers making it, and I think it did cost them quite badly in the end there. So hopefully this doesn't cost the Lions too much. But now Glasgow. Now ball over the top from Horn. But Evan van der Merwe is covering very wide. A lot of pressure getting the offload away to Andrews Garcia. Sees a bit of space opening up ahead of him. It's closed pretty quickly. But Jaco Kriel now pick up and go from him. He's had a really good game as Jaco Kriel. Caught in the ball here. Needs a bit of support. Nahamba goes to Asnate and Klabakanya, who gets through a lot of work. Now Nahamba to Lombard. Lombard, not too much on. Inside ball to Marius Lowe. Marius Lowe just drifting around outside, trying to find a bit of space. Marius Lowe almost getting through. Does get through. Pops it up to Willem Alberts. He's going to need a bit of support as well. Asnate and Klabakanya. Ball pops up to Marius Lowe. Marius Lowe looking for the offload and comes forward. Tupolotto now. Oh, Schweppes. This is going to be a bit of counter attack. Could be on you. Ball ahead there. And Johnny Lombard's coming back. He's got Money Russ outside. He's going to have to get this ball quickly. Ducks underneath the tackle. That's really done well by Johnny Lombard. A lot of Lions players need to arrive. And they do very, very well to keep this ball. Very good job there from Johnny Lombard. He's just, dove on the ball and still underneath the tackle. Lions all the way back inside their own 22. Now Nahamba taking his time before he finds his box. He can find a good clearance. He needs to find touch here. No, it's been charged down. It'll go out. It'll be a Lions line out. So Cheap is getting away with one. And what do you know? PJ Boerter loses lineout number 5. 5, 5, 5, number 5. That's how many lineouts he's lost. How is he still in the park? How? On a 5-meter line, he's lost it again. And now Tupolotto is just on the break. If they score here, they are going to score. They've got a penalty advantage as well. Smith is hopefully going to be held up. Another penalty advantage here. This is all on bloody PJ Boerter. And they scored. Get him out of my team, man. You're so useless. How can you lose 5 lineouts? 5 lineouts and still be on the park? It is the most ridiculous thing in the world. You are flogging a dead horse. You've just scored. You've got yourself into momentum. And then, sure as hell, 5 lineouts he's lost. That's 50% of the lineouts today, by the way. He's lost every second lineout. How is he still on the park? I cannot understand how he still plays. I cannot understand it. This is not a new thing. It happens every single week. Xander Ferguson, the try scorer, but it all comes down to PJ Boerter losing that line once again. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing. It really is. He's lost 5 out of 11 lineouts. That is ludicrous. Right, I'm going to put a poll in the comments, by the way, and it's going to say, can the Lions come back to win? I'm not going to talk about that, to be honest. I'm not going to talk about the defense or anything like that. That all comes down to losing that lineout. I don't understand how you can expect to operate as a team when you've only got half your set piece of work. You don't have a lineout. You literally don't have a lineout. It's just ridiculous. Right, chaps. So we're gonna have to do this without lineouts apparently, or else we could do this weird thing and make a sub. I just could sear underneath the high ball, and a bit of pressure there. Scuba now to Ilfanamerva to Asnate and Klabakanye. Getting away from one. Still going. Still going is the big lad. What a player. Good carry there. I think it's Travis Gordon getting involved. Well, Reinhard Reinsberger is on, by the way. There he is. The loose head. Lombard inside ball to Manny Russ. Manny Russ did a little bit of a goose step there. Klabakanya under a bit of pressure there. Oh, cheap as another penalty. I would just like to see it blown both ways. Oh, it's PJ Boerter conceding it, so then I'm back to the decision because I'm sure it must be wrong. But I assume we've been penalized. We haven't seen too many actual signals and signs from Matthew Ryan. He could be calling it verbally, and I don't have enough volume because I actually haven't seen too many visual signs being made when he rewards a penalty. But that's the second time we've been penalized for stealing off. And to be honest, I'm seeing very little difference between what we're doing at ruck time compared to what Glasgow are doing at ruck time, except they don't seem to be getting penalized for it. Well, it's a turnover line this time, and Frankie Horn is going. Go, Frankie! Look at the pace from him. Pops it up as well. Oh, here we go. On the counter, PJ Boerter. It's just, I swear, if you lose the ball, I will fly to Scotland and steal your passport so that you have to stay there. Now Lombard, skipping, Manny Russ. Kieran Horn right up against the touchline. Kieran Horn needs to come inside. Does very well stay inside. Line's almost up to the 22. Willem Albert's almost a half gap there for him. Now Marius Lowe coming on the shoulder of Mr. Nahamba. Once again, Lions player staying down. That's not a great pass for Johnny Lombard. Pretty flat pass that to Justin Atten Klabakanye. And not forward. You know, really, chaps, every single time things are looking good, you make a mistake. Every single time in a coconut. Well, word on Frankie Horn on that run, I'll tell you what. But a good turn of pace is Frankie Horn, and I personally think that many a Springbok cap does await him. pretty calm on the coaching staff there. Jacques Fourie doesn't look too phased at this stage. But got to score the next points, though, don't we? Got to score 2 converted tries, trying to level things up here. Free kick this time for Glasgow Warriors. First time they've gotten anything from the scrum, really. They've fought for scrum. This is very cool. Bernard Rainsberger on, though, by the way. So, interesting to see how much of a difference that will make. He's up against Xander Ferguson. So, how's that for testing yourself for the 22-year-old? He's sort of seen, I'm not quite sure where he came from, but he seems to have found his way into the 23 quite often now. The Tupolotto at first receiver. Good hands, good hands. So where they're so dangerous for the Glasgow Warriors. That's, however, not a good pass. I'll go back for the knock-on, thankfully. It looked a bit ominous when you start seeing Glasgow Warriors and Tupolotto and Hugh Jones and their hands all popping up there. It does start to maybe panic a little bit, but thankfully a knock-on coming in there. It's very low. Top was tenure in South Africa. And I don't mind staying up. I want to stay up to watch my boys win. Imagine the scenes. Imagine the scenes and the Lions have to go into a Challenge Cup semi-final. Da, 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 da. Another break and play here. I just want to know why PJ Broad is still on the field. I don't understand how you can lose 5 lineouts and still not be replaced. I mean, it's a core function. If Johnny Lombard had missed 5 kicks, for example, we'd be absolutely freaking out. And the kicker would have changed. Big scrum there, penalty advantage for the Lions. Johnny Lombard popping up to Marius Lowe, trying to give it to Kieran Horn. But we'll go back for the penalty. This will give us an opportunity to kick ourselves into Glasgow territory. We do need to find touch, though, which is very frustrating when we didn't last time. Wasn't happy at all. But a nice scrum there. Good work being done. And yeah, I think Klabakanya is still on, putting in a good shift. But his numbers quite shortly, so they must be quite impressive actually. He's carried at least 6 or 7 times. Good line out this time. And they're peeling off the back. Ball is available. Franco Horn. Leaving the ball behind because that's what we do every single time things start to go well. Oh my goodness, well, jeepers. Here comes a bit of a breakaway. They're now throwing a half pass to Rainsberger. It was a bit of advantage over for the knock-on, so the Lions do have it. Klabakanya. This will be his 13th carry, by the way. 13 carries from the big tight head. Lombard popping it to Kutsia. Just inside the 22. Now Nahamba going to Travis Gordon. He pops it inside to, I think that's Ruben Skuman. Klabakanya. Oh, little deft hands there. But the ball's been left behind. Oh, that looked like a forward pass. Like turnover ball for Glasgow. Not too much structure on, not too much on. So just kicking behind. Andres Kutsia is getting back there. And brings in Kieran Horn. Kieran Horn puts onto his left boot. Right up against the touchline. So inside the 22. Miotti goes back inside. Back on the park, by the way. Smith now. Smith looking with Carl Stain on his right shoulder, looking to run. A couple of battles in behind. Ball over the top. Kieran Horn needs to get across the side. Doesn't make the tackle. Now Horn back inside to Cummings. To Miotti. Miotti throws it on the bounce there to Hugh Jones. Not too much on. So Hugh Jones sees a bit of space down the right. But Johnny Lombard has covered it pretty well. Throws it inside to Anish Kutsia. Anish Kutsia is running towards a lot of Glasgow. Dude, there's nobody around you. There is nobody around you. Why would you go yourself? Thankfully they've messed up and we've gotten a penalty. But cheap as me, Anish Kutsia. What kind of decision is that to make? There's nobody around you. So you run into all the Glasgow Warriors players. I mean, are you on cheap drugs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Glasgow players are closer to him than any Lions players. 6! But that's a good idea. Goodness me. As I was saying though, Asanate and Klabakanye has made 13 carries, 9 tackles, hasn't missed a single one. Beaten 1 defender, 28 meters gained. And all the scrum work he's done. I tell you what. Morne van den Berg onto the park. Interesting moment this. Nahama scoring a try, scoring all the 7 of the Lions points, but very able replacement in Morne van den Berg. Very exciting. Both these scrum halves, very attacking orientated, like to really speed up the game. And I think that's what Morne van den Berg will be brought on to do, is to really sort of speed this game up and try and run Glasgow off their feet. He's also taken on the kick and duties towards touch. Interesting to see that Johnny Lombard has not taken those on at all. Ball over the top, goes to Edwin van der Merwe, brings in Morris Lowe. Bit of variation at the line there. Morne van den Berg, quick ball already. Goes to Money Russ. Johnny Lombard going himself. And as you can see, Morne van den Berg always looking to try and speed things up very quickly. He likes to get this Asante Klabakanye. It's a great take from him and another good carry. Morne van den Berg going to Renard Rainsberger. Ruben Skuman. Yeah, as I said, immediately the pace of play just absolutely Morne van den Berg's on the park. Sniping around, bringing in Asanate and Klabakanye. I tell you what, this guy's going to get 20 carries at this stage. Marius Lowe, pretty isolated. Probably a good idea to go back inside. Does get himself to the 22. Morne van den Berg, quick ball once again to Asanate and Klabakanye. And I think Xander Ferguson has turned it over because we just don't like to ruck. We just decide it's overrated. So I think it's a penalty advantage here. And then a knock-on coming. No penalty advantage, just a clean turnover. So it will be a scrum for the Lions. I think. Communication hasn't been great yet from the referee throughout the game. As I said, I don't know if I could maybe hear it a bit better. He's just done this. In case you wanted to know how things are going. Matthew Collins just gone, I don't know. So, yeah, that kind of sort of sums things up at the moment. Which is probably not a good thing to see. But what can we do? Jeepers me, who is not coming on yet? So I think Glasgow have just brought on the entire bench. That's a new front. Oh, I'm going to have to... I can't actually see who hasn't come on. I'm seeing a new front bench. Tom Jordan is back on. I think JP Dupree has definitely come on. I think it could have been Lewis Bean as well. Yeah, Lewis Bean is on. I don't know if Tom Gordon is on. Don't think Ali Price is on. I think they'll keep him back. Yeah, so he's not on yet. Not sure if Tom Gordon's on. I think it could just be Tom Gordon and Eddie Price who aren't on. But there's quite a few. It will be a Lions scrum here, by the way. Right, Lions scrum on the 22. What can we conjure up here? 18 minutes to go, chat. We can't even score 2 tries pretty quickly. Brand new front row here for Glasgow. The Lions do seem to have the dominance there. Now Johnny Lombard goes to Marius Lowe, nice and short. Quick recycle needed from Morne van den Berg. Goes to Frankie Horn. A little bit upright in that. Now Yaka Creel, been very industrious today. Good leg drive once again. Morne van den Berg once again looking to up the ante a little bit. Money Russ getting in between two players, getting up towards the 5-meter line. And conceding a penalty. Because once again, we can't protect our sodding ball. It is the most ridiculous thing. Rory dodged another turnover. But it's just... Where is everybody? How can we... Personally, I think he's having a second go there. Ball retention from the Lions has been dreadful today. Absolutely dreadful. This is the sad thing, is that it's actually been a relatively close game. I mean, it's a 14-point game. So the Lions score one try and they're right back into this. But there's been so many basic, silly errors. And speaking of silly errors, Glasgow have lost their line out now. And Yakakwil is still marauding as Yakakwil is eventually brought back. What a run that is from the number 6. But then a big counter. No, Frankie Horn's got the ball there. Looked like a counteract was inbound, but they really got the ball out. Now Morley van den Berg. Lions, come on, lads. Just score a try. Let's make things interesting, shall we? Ruben Schoeman once again. Morley van den Berg sniping. Money Russ, a little bit isolated. Rainsberger. Ball available there. Penalty advantage as well. Morley van den Berg. Lombard. And just could see it back on the angle. He doesn't enjoy a good play. Another penalty advantage. Morley van den Berg. Good hands. Frankie Horn. Frankie Horn is just short. Has he got grounding? He thinks he does. Let's go see. Come on. Are we back? The try's been awarded. Come on. How has he managed this? Bang. Gets away from one. Just a leg drive. Continues going. And he's... perfect. Great finish. Frankie Horn. Look at this. 1, 2. He's just still going. It's just this... Relentless. It's just this relentless... I will get there. Yep. And a good clean... Come on. This is the thing. We're not out of this game. Got to stop our silly areas. But we're not out of this game by any means. Dare to dream, man. Dare to dream. Johnny Lombard now with kicking duties. And then Humber has departed the field. Not kicked particularly well lately, has Johnny Lombard. But no issues there. Yep, straight through the middle. 20 points to 14. 3 tries to 2. 1 converted try separating the two sides with 15 minutes to go. I tell you what, this cricket for Tippets kid is going to get close. And this time a restart to Willem Alberts. Looking to reset the rolling more here. I'm not sure it's the right decision here. I think Frankie Horn is, spun out and managed to take it himself. Good work there. We have lost that to the 22 though. Up and under there. It will be contestable. It'll find emotional against up into that mix. And a force to none other than... No, it's PJ Butch has come away with it. Knock on coming there. So it'll be a scrum. Knock on, I think, from Asinati and Clavacania. Probably the first mistake he's made today. He's been absolutely immense. If the Lions win this, he's got to be in the... Even so, he might actually have to be in the reckoning for man of the match. He's the work rate. I mean, from a tight head to be making 14, 15 carries, to making 9 tackles, not miss a single tackle. And I think he is about to be replaced. Here comes Ru Andrea and Mornay Brandon. Asinati and Clavacania take a bow. What a game. And a penalty from the scrum. This will be an interesting decision here from Glasgow Warriors. It is kickable, and you wonder if they will not maybe look at the 3 points here. I think they are going to go for the corner, yeah. No, here comes kicking tee, I think. Yeah, no, exactly. Makes sense. Maybe not the worst result for the Lions either. It does mean they need to score twice. Pretty big moment in the game, this. This would take them 10 points. He has gotten it, so they do extend their lead to 24 points to 14. It becomes a 10-point game with 12 minutes to go. Yeesh. All right, come on, the lads. Come on, the lads. 11 minutes. Converted try. Let's make the two tries here, lads. 2 tries. Only one of them has to be converted. Deep restart. Edelfundermover working really hard to get himself into the mix there. Trying to get to the other side and hold on to him. Just patience, chaps. You will get your chances. You will get your chances. Just be patient. Kick overhead. And just could see it underneath it. Go straight through him. That's not exactly what we need. See, we can't really afford stuff like that, Andres. We don't have much time. We don't have much time. Pretty poor for fullback. I mean, you got to get someone in a good position. That's got to be taken. You played Springboks, mate. Got to be taking that. Got to be taking that. Eddie Price still on the park. Him and Gordon. The only 2 Glasgow Warrior players not to be. I mean, imagine being able to bring a Eddie Price in this situation. It's not like he's really being ready to come on either. Right, so 10 minutes left. Got to try and win a scrum penalty out of this. That'd be pretty ideal, actually. Big scrum came in the lines there, but they do manage to get out to Pilotu. Like a Creel lurking, desperately trying to win that penalty. So this is about discipline. It's about discipline. Penalty advantage. What did I just say? What did I just say? I said it's about discipline. What did I do? Offside penalty. Wipe that smile. I don't like seeing a smile that smile there, Matthew Carty's face there. Not a good look as a referee. Can't be making a decision and then smiling as you go to it. And I know it's because he's having an inside joke or something. It just doesn't look particularly good, does it, when he runs off to the mark, wielding penalty with a big smile on his face. Well, it's a big mistake from Glasgow. They have not found touch. So Vandenberg will pump this downfield. He will find touch. But, yeah, it'll be substantially further upfield than when it would have been if Glasgow had found touch. So it'll be Glasgow line on the 10-metre line for the Lions. Lions have had more possession and more territory, just by the way. It's all come down to the first of all, Glasgow defense, which has been very impressive, and the lack of variation from the Lions. Just not much going on. It was just so one-dimensional the entire time. And it just didn't really look that was ever really a plan of attack. And this ball's gone down, legally so. No penalty advantage or anything. Good defense there from the Lions. Taking a while to come out as well. They want to go down the short side. And Andrea looking to try to get on that ball. Now looking to go to the short side. Almost looked like it was drifting a bit forward. Cuts inside. Andrea will complete the tackle. Time running out for the Lions. They've got to find time for a try and another kickoff. Good tackle there on Ferguson from Jakob Creel. Not good hit, rather. Tackle was completed by, I think it was Ruan Delport. Good, this is good work there from Glasgow, actually. Good ball retention as they go into their 10th phase now. Tupolotu on the angle. Morne Brandon trying to get his hands on it. Morne van den Berg trying to get over the advantage line there. Actually going a bit backwards now as they, I mean, this must be about the 16th, 17th phase here, Glasgow Warriors. So good defense here from the Lions, but need to kind of get the ball. Still outside the 22. Good angle being run there by Jones. Gets the offload away. And that's it. And they're over. They're over. And there it goes. Stop thinking you're a big dick. I mean, come on, dude. Walk away. You scored your try. Bugger off. You ran into him, not the other way around, you idiot. I mean, Tom Jordan trying to have a go. I mean, listen, Travis Gordon would flatten you one time. One time, champ. This is so poor. So soft. And just the defense line, which is so solid for so many times. Draw and pass. They had the numbers, and he goes over. Yeah, and that kind of, I think, summed up the Lions, haven't it? They've switched off in certain moments and they've not made their moments count. And that is that, I'm afraid. It looks like all the teams will be exiting in the quarterfinals. Glasgow moved to 31, Lions still on 14. And that should be game, set, and match. What was a 10-point lead? It's now a 15-point lead and about to be a 17-point lead. 17 points. Yeah, that's it. That's gone. There's 5 minutes left. That's gone, unfortunately. Well, it was nice. Eddie Price comes onto the park. But we had fun. We had fun in the Challenge Cup. I'm annoyed, though, because I feel like this was a winnable game. I feel like we had our chances to win. We didn't take them, which is very annoying. Tupolotu goes off. Did a good game. He did have a good game. He shut him down reasonably well, but still had a good effect on the game. Hugh Jones as well was pretty instrumental in that, getting his hands free in the tackle. And Matty Price, I mean, actually be able to bring on a British and Irish line to see off the end of the game. A good restart there, Ruben Skuman. Penalty, though, for obstruction. Things you love to see. So the Lions going to kick to the corner. And 10 meters for stopping Morne van den Berg get to the ball. You're gonna have to go for a scrum here, lads. Yeah, let's have tap and go is the decision. Tap and go. Morne van den Berg going straight to. No ways. Okay, another 10. I thought it was another penalty for the Lions. Are we gonna see a yellow card here, though? We've seen quite a few penalties in the red zone here. I think this is the question that Marius Lowe is asking. He's just saying, listen, there's been a lot of penalties here. A lot of penalties. Another tap and go. Andrea. Oh, cheap. Was a decent carry from him. Morne van den Berg going to Willem Alberts. Morne van den Berg going himself. Morne van den Berg almost coming up short thing. Just short. Needs to try and recycle this. Pick up and go. Over. Try. It's too little, too late, I'm sure. But We've got to try. Yay! Or at least we can try and make a good of a game with this. Try and because Lombard's going to have to hurry this kick up, but actually can't really afford to miss it, unfortunately. Just to make it a 10-point game, we're going to have to come back here, score another try, and have time for kickoff. He does nail it, to be fair to him. He does nail it. We will receive the kickoff. We've kind of got to go end to end here, though. It's a good try there from Mornay Random, to be fair. Back to a 10-point game. This is why that last try is so annoying, because if we hadn't conceded that, it would be a 3-point game. We'd be right back in this. Yes, could this ball boy take any longer to get onto the... Yeah, get off, get out of here. Tom Jordan going very deep. Frankie Horn underneath it. Kick over the top there for Marius Lowe to chase. Marius Lowe's done brilliantly there to hold on as well. What a... It was a nice little variation from Mornay van den Berg, but what an absolute sublime take that from Marius Lowe. Lines up to the halfway line. Johnny Lombard. Now chip over the top from Johnny Lombard. For Edel van der Merwe. Bounces over a couple players and then runs into Willem Alberts. Stay in field, stay in field, stay in field. No, he's going to be bundled out. Damn it. Why must we wait until the 75th minute to start playing rugby? Why? Why? That is so annoying. Now we've seen a chip over the top, 2 chips over the top into space. Where's that been for the last 78 minutes? We saw it twice in the first half. It actually worked out quite well. Rory Dodge been named player of the... Nonsense, dude. It was Club Kanye by far. Don't come here with Rory Dodge on. He had like 2 turnovers. Show me another tight head who's going to carry 16, 17 times and make 10 tackles without missing a single one. Well, once again, by the way, Lions have won the line out and they've got to score in the next minute. They have to score in the next minute. It's that simple. They've got to score and have a kickoff. Mornay van den Berg. Mornay Brandon. Cheapers. Imagine we score in the next 90 seconds so we can receive a kickoff. Mornay van den Berg. Willem Alberts. Well, a word from Willem Alberts, by the way. Very much a veteran. The ball's gone loose. Never mind. It was a nice idea. Smith's come away with it. Last minute. But why wait that long until you start to play some rugby is my biggest question. Falls back to Mornay van den Berg. It's just not enough time. There's 30 seconds left. Literally, they have to create a pierce. Edel van den Berg is gonna have to like run straight through a gap here if we're gonna try and to win this game. Well, to be fair, he's off to a good start. Still going as Edel van der Merwe. We're gonna come up just short, aren't we? I know we're gonna score a try. We're gonna lose by 3 points, which I suppose you can be proud of as an effort. But very frustrating, because we should have won this game. 10 seconds left. I tell you what, we're not far away either. Good hands there. Ball of the field there for Mornay van den Berg. Mornay van den Berg. Ball comes down. Ball is forward. That will be the end of the game. It was desperate. It was sloppy. It was at times very poor, at times brilliant. But at the end of the day, Glasgow Warriors were just too strong for the Lions. We just could not open that defense. And the final South African team does buy out of European competition. Final score over in Scotland, 31 points to 21. People, thank you very much for joining us. It's been 3 back-to-back watch-alongs here on Forever Sports. We appreciate your support. We appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel if you're new. And we will see you guys next weekend for plenty more.